Hello everybody, I wanted to do a quick video on installing a new fish finder for my kayak. Let's get started with the necessary hardware for this. We have here a Lowrance Hook 4 fish finder that I got a great deal on this from Cabela's. Also included in this will be a Hobie fish finder installation kit, which comes with everything included: the battery, the wiring, and including the goop, which I won't be using for this, but it is necessary for other kayak installations. And the last thing is a ram mount. Wasn't too happy about the standard mount that the Lowrance fish finder comes with, so I wanted to have it a little bit better position, and the ram mount will do the job for that. So let's get started. Alright, so first we're going to remove the Lowrance Ready plate that is underneath the Hobie kayak. All you gotta do is unscrew the 3 screws at the bottom, and it will expose the inside. And as you can see, it holds the bracket where the transducer will fit in. So everything comes in your packaging. First, we're going to slide this bracket into the transducer. The necessary screws and washers and bolts will be included, and you just have to run it through the transducer and attach it firmly to the Lowrance Ready plate. Make sure you have it as flush as possible to the Lowrance plate. Next thing is you're going to run the transducer wire through the scupper hole underneath the plate, and run the whole wire through. Afterwards, you will just reattach the plate back onto the kayak. Okay, the next step you're going to do is you're going to run the transducer cable through the inside of the kayak through these grommets, these cable grommets that are located in the Hobie kayak. Now, it should be noted that if you wanted to run this fish finder through a different style of kayak that's not a Hobie, all you have to do is use the goop to locate the place where you want to put the transducer, whether it's in the middle or more forward in the kayak, wherever it is that you want it. And you're going to use the goop to sort of create a gel layer, and the goop will hold it in place, and it will also help give the transducer a good reading without having it exposed to water. Otherwise, you're going to have to reach inside a Hobie kayak and loosen up the nut inside, which will open up the cable grommet, and you'll run the cable back through that. After you run the cable in, you're going to sort of put everything back together, except that you're going to remove the grommet that's there in place. That's to give spacing for the cable in there. Inside you'll find a little plastic tree with spare grommets. You have to look for the grommet that will accommodate the cable that you're using. And then sort of fit everything in place snugly so that it forms a watertight seal. Make sure you lock everything in place from the inside. Now, the next step we're going to do here is we are going to attach the battery mount to the Hobie kayak. We're going to attach it to the sail mount. If you're attaching this to a different kind of kayak, you can attach it to just a lip on the inside somewhere, or it can also just sit on the bottom of the kayak. I'm going to place the battery in there, and it will hold in just fine. Now, at this point, do not connect the wires to the battery yet, otherwise you will have live wires. But the next step will be to connect the power cables all together. Included with your Lowrance fish finder, you will find a fuse. Make sure you attach the fuse to your power cable. It's just for to protect the fish finder, as well as if you don't install it, it kind of voids the warranty. So make sure you get that installed. Inside the installation kit comes with these little crimps. Now make sure you attach the positive wire with the other positive wire and the negative with the negative. Now, to form the connections of the wires, inside your Hobie installation kit will come included these special little crimps, and all you have to do is slide each end of the wire inside the little insert, and with a pair of pliers you just crimp down the little yellow circle, and it will create a gel layer and seal it up inside and form the connection. As I said, Hobie has really taken all the guesswork out of this and made it very easy to for any beginner or to install their fish finder. Alright, so I want to install my fish finder on the left side of my kayak, so I'm going to loosen up the that cable grommet on the left side. Now, if this is a different type of kayak that you're installing your fish finder in, you can drill a hole either on the side, or if you want it on like in the center. It's a very easy process to just get the drill like a 1-inch hole where you need it and run the cable through that, and then you can seal it back up with some sort of silicone sealant, and that will hold it in place. So as we did before with the other cable grommet, we're going to do the same thing with this one here. We're going to run the cable through that. Now the only difference is that when we go back to tying this up, you will need a grommet that will fit both the transducer cable and the power cable, as both cables are going to run through this grommet. Once you've run both cables through, make sure you leave enough length of cable so that you'll have enough so that it can easily connect to the back of the fish finder. Here we're finding the right grommet with the 2 slotted openings to accommodate both cables. Just look for the one that fits both cables the best, and just make sure it's a snug fit so we can have a watertight seal there. And again, just tying up everything up. And again, if you're installing this on a different type of kayak, just leave enough time so that whatever sealant you're using will cure. Since I'm using a ram mount, I will be installing the ram ball mount ahead of where the cables are coming out of. We're just going to drill some pilot holes to start it off, and then we're going to secure this down with the 1-inch screws. So we're going to complete the circuit of the power cable by connecting the both negative ends together using the crimps that come with the Hobie installation kit. After you've crimped all that together and completed the circuit, you can plug in the power cable into the battery. Now you can attach the fish finder to the ram mount. And then you can attach the transducer cable to the back. You can attach the power cable to the back, and if you've done everything right, it should power up just fine. Now it takes a minute, but this thing will power up, and it'll go through its little setup stages, and you'll be good to go. As I said before, Hobie really took all the guesswork out of installation for fish finders with kayaks. This kit works great. It's perfect for if you have a Hobie kayak, but it's great if you have any other kind of kayak out there. Comes with everything you will need to install whatever kind of fish finder you're installing and whatever kind of kayak you have. I am not sponsored by Lowrance or Hobie or Ram, but they sure can give me a call if they want to. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope it will help you if you're installing a fish finder in your kayak. Don't forget to give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, thanks, and catch you guys out there later. See ya.